Here are 10 highest rated TV series of 2022 that you must watch. 5 Days at Memorial may technically be a historical drama, but it often feels more like a horror show. The Apple TV Plus miniseries captures in horrific. You are there detail what it was like a memorial hospital in New Orleans in the 5 days after Hurricane Katrina. I am only one episode in and I am hooked. But it's overwhelming for me right now. It's pretty intense. I can't believe that it actually happened. I got anxiety from just watching a retelling of the event there. I can't begin to imagine being there firsthand. The Terminal List. It's almost perfect and deserves a 10 thanks to the huge cast. Lots of great actors and amazing scenes. Almost impossible to stop watching once you start. That's good. Great job by a pro-production. Tight story. The director and his team made a very good job, and well as the camera and technical team, reliable characters, and all actors as well as stunts are putting a lot of efforts. So the result is very powerful. It is very surprising to see Chris plays a serious role. No comedy, no jokes, nothing is cheesy. Just painful, serious, cold character, and it suits him so well that I wonder how it affects some of his next action roles. He can play a deep and dramatic character in thrillers. Must see satisfaction guaranteed. Pachinko. Based on the New York Times bestseller, this sweeping saga chronicles the hopes and dreams of a Korean immigrant family across 4 generations as they leave their homeland in an indomitable quest to survive and thrive. I really loved the book and was slightly worried if this series would do it justice, but wow, the critics were right, this is wonderful. Everything was right, the acting, the directing, the incredible script, the music. The life-affirming opening dance was a surprise, but so right. The 3 sanghas are perfect in the part. Peacemaker, picking up where the Suicide Squad 2021 left off. Peacemaker returns home after recovering from his encounter with Bloodsport, only to discover that his freedom comes at a price. At first I was, what is this? Especially the opening credit dancing, then I grew to know the characters better, and seeing Cena do things, I realized how genius and different this series was. And the more I watched, the more I wanted. I waited until all 8 episodes were released and binged, and I am glad I did. I may have lost interest and got too anxious in between releases, but in binging, I was glued to the TV and wanted more antics and craziness, and I couldn't stop. I was addicted had I had to wait for the next episode a week later. Old New York, the 1880s. Old money and new money are the opposites that attract to create a post-Civil War era New York society. The who's who of society is carefully orchestrated by the old money folks that can't help but be fascinated and seduced by the nouveau rich folk. The lives of the characters are also merged with people from the walks of life. Visually stunning, great story, so engaging. Just what I needed. Kudos to Julian Fellows on another hit. In spite of some user on imdb not liking the show, but it's a hit. The Beer 2022. Carmen Barzato, a young brilliant chef from the fine dining world, is forced to return home to run his family food cart, the original beef of Chicagoland, after a heartbreaking death in his family. Great acting, writing and great direction. Shots and scenes are artful and not pretentious. Soundtrack choice is excellent. Having worked in a kitchen and a fan of cooking, food shows, Bourdain, this is well conceived masterpiece. Sure, the episodes are short and only 8 episodes. But if that was its first and only season, it was short and sweet. And even the little bit of filler made sense. A nice tight package, a must watch. Juvenile Justice 2022. A judge who is infamously known for dislike towards juveniles becomes the newly appointed judge of a juvenile court in the Yonward district. A victim of juvenile crime in her youth, she faces various cases involving juvenile delinquents and other youths, which helps her discover what it truly means to be an adult. Well, it is a shame, but it was a real case in Korea few years ago that 2 juveniles have butchered a little kid. Also, it is a serious issue in Korea that the laws and punishments are very weak, including juvenile justice. All the episodes were based on real cases in Korea that were major juvenile issues in recent few years. This drama has shown serious issues in Korea and deals some cases to help people realize the juvenile crimes are not minor crimes anymore, but they have become serious crimes. I really wanna say that the actors have done great jobs. Reacher 2022. Story of the movie is when retired military police officer Jack Reacher is arrested for a murder he did not commit. He finds himself in the middle of the deadly conspiracy full of dirty cops, shady businessmen and scheming politicians. With nothing but his wits, he must figure out what is happening in Margrave, Georgia. Surprisingly good show with great action scenes and likable main character. An interesting crime story that reminds us of good old-fashioned entertainment. The story follows the atmosphere from the books well, and the casting is great. Alan Ritchson is great choice for the role of Jack Reacher. Not only does he look like him, but he conveys his character well on screen. The fight scenes are excellent, tense and brutal. Alan Ritchson is convincing in the role of Jack Reacher, but the other actors also portray their characters well. A really pleasant surprise considering the most good stories are ruined by today's writers. Blackbird. I can't say enough about how good Blackbird is. First of all, the cast is amazing. Egerton is an A-list actor who has done a great job in some big role in movies like Kingsman and Rocketman. But this might be his best performance yet. The writing and storytelling in this is as good as it gets for a TV show. It's based off a true story of the prisoner in minimum security prison who gets a deal to get out early if he goes to maximum security prison for the criminally insane and gets suspected serial killer to confess to him. But the problem is he might not actually be a serial killer and falsely confess to the murderer for attention, or he really is a serial killer. It's an edge of your seat thriller which is made even more thrilling because it's based off a true story. I absolutely recommend this show.